Chapter 33. Subject, Staff Sergeant Power. Location classified. "You know, a tank or APC would be able to plow through most of these guys," Simmons said as his weapon ran dry. "Sure, but do you know of any armor rated against plasma?" Johnson asked. "The robots wouldn't stand a chance, but the mechs would turn our Vicks into scrap for sure. A tank would be able to put up a fight before it went down, at least. It would be able to just run right over the bots while saving its turret for the... Hey, that one looks like it's trying to flank." Simmons put a marker on our HUD, and I turned my attention to our flank while he reloaded. One of the security robots was marching as quickly as it could, ignoring us for the sake of getting a better position. With a sigh, I fired at it, striking it in the torso and head. "Nice shot, Staff Sergeant," Simmons said. "Anyways, the point of fighting is to do more damage to the other side than is being done to your side. I think a tank could do that." "I don't know, man," Johnson replied. "It's hard for the mechs to kill more than one of us at a time if we maintain cover and spacing. A tank has a gunner, loader, commander, and driver. One plasma bolt from the mech, and all four of those guys are toast, plus the cost of the tank." "Gotta agree with Johnson," Smith added. "There's only enough room for maybe 3 out of 5 of the tanks in a squad to be able to get shots in, and that doesn't leave any room for evasive maneuvers." "There's only 4 in a squad, Sarnt, but I get your point," Simmons sighed. "So, when is our backup getting here?" "Every time you ask, you add a minute to the clock," I growled. "Shut up and keep shooting." "Mech," Ramirez shouted. A moment later, I heard the signature hiss and swoosh of an AT-9 firing, followed by the glorious sound of twisted metal crumbling to the ground filled the air. A quick glance confirmed the mech's demise. Apparently, it had been hanging out behind the shuttles until we had destroyed enough robots to give it enough room to try to engage us. "Good fucking shot, Fairmain." "Oorah." My Marine's flippant behavior and Ramirez's excitement belied how desperate our situation was becoming. Dozens of broken robots littered the ground, but dozens more were still standing and firing at us. The second and third gates had been mostly unguarded, but Omega had warned us about Gate 4. It led to some sort of nexus point, a room with multiple gates in it. The AI currently had some of the aliens assaulting that nexus point, but that didn't convince the robots and mechs on this side of the gate to retreat. Our intention was to confirm enemy headcount for the main force, but they spotted us and immediately began firing. It was hard to tell which of us they spotted first, but Lance Corporal Getz had taken the first few shots. Running would have meant exposing our asses to enemy fire, so we'd popped our portable covers and holed up, hoping that the main force would catch up before we ran out of ammo. "I'm out of ammo," Smith reported. "Anyone got a spare mag?" "I'm on my last," Hansen replied as he reloaded. "Same," Simmons and Johnson said simultaneously. I noted that I had 1 full mag left, but only 4 rounds left in my rifle. I took down 2 bots with those 4 rounds, then wondered how effective clubs would be against our metallic foes. The dull thud of a grenade sent its reverberations through the ground. "Fucking shit." "That scared the hell out of me, Sarnt," Simmons said. "My bad, Corporal," Smith chuckled. "I'll call it next time." "Which is now." "Frag out!" Another dull thud shook the ground. "Their left flank is shooting at something else," Getz reported. "Check your fire, then," Gunny Kim replied. "Don't want to put holes in friendlies." My well ran dry, and I ejected the magazine, safely stowing it away for a refill once we were out of this mess. I dropped down into cover and stared at my freshly empty rifle for a moment. "Ammo check," I ordered. 14 lights in my HUD lit up, none of them green. 9 yellow lights indicating less than 50% of their ammo remaining. 5 red lights indicating no ammo remaining. Shit. "If you're out of ammo, prepare for CQC," I said. "Don't rush out after them. Make them come to us. That'll keep our shields from taking a beating." "Staff Sergeant, permission to have a bad idea?" Smith asked as another dull thud shook the room. "Permission granted. We could just grab some of their stupid laser guns." "Are you volunteering to run out into enemy fire to gather those stupid laser guns?" I asked with palpable sarcasm. The comm was silent for a few moments, except for a chuckle from Simmons. "Well, I guess that could wait until we initiate close-quarters combat." "I'm out," Johnson interjected with a sigh. "If there's an armorer with the main force, they're going to be pissed off at how bent these rifles are about to be. Dibs on not being the one to turn them in and request new ones." "I'll do it," Gunny Kim laughed. "I've got away with the supply folks. I'm out too, by the way." One by one, the yellow lights turned red. I let out a silent sigh and readied freshly converted club. The robots would have no choice but to push forward, which would allow us to pummel at least a few of them before being overrun. Smith's idea wasn't without merit, but once the enemy gets close, it will be damn hard to drive them back. They're not coming closer, Dewey said. The corporal's report made me realize that I was no longer hearing the signature rapport of lasers hitting our cover either. I peeked my head out and watched as most of the robots turned and began marching toward their left flank. A few were still pointed in our direction, but they had stopped firing. I'll be damned, Ramirez said. Are they assuming we died? Doesn't matter. Gunny, Staff Sergeant, pick 2 to retrieve weaponry, I ordered, wasting no time. Those 2 will retrieve 3 directed energy rifles each. Smith, Simmons, you're the 2 for our team. Aye, aye, Staff Sergeant, several voices said at once. A moment later, 6 genetically altered Marines flew around and leapt over their cover faster than any normal human could possibly hope to move. The majority of the robots had turned to face the threat on their left flank, but a few still fired at our, for lack of a better term, snatch team. Those that still had ammo did their best to cover those that were gathering weaponry. Simmons grabbed the first laser rifle and threw it back in our direction. I caught it and aimed it at a robot that was firing at the corporal, only to find that the damn thing didn't have a trigger. My shield sparked a little as incoming laser fire hit me. Oh, come the fuck on, I growled as I dropped back into cover. I spent a few moments examining the rifle. The weapon's shape was similar to our own, but the pistol grip didn't include a trigger or trigger guard. I popped my head back out and magnified the view of one of the firing robots and was shocked at how stupid their weapon designers must be. It's pump-action fire? I asked myself. Just to be sure that I wasn't hallucinating, I aimed the rifle once again. The foregrip portion of the rifle slid back, and a small red-hot hole appeared in the robot's head, proving my internal bias against this design. I'd been aiming center mass. What? Ramirez asked as his 2 snatchers returned. You need to pump the foregrip to fire, I replied. No wonder these guys can't aim for shit. So, aim for the feet? Kim asked. For rapid fire, yes, I said. With a more steady grip, you should hit what you're aiming at, though. Remember, this is an energy weapon. You're not going to see any curve from this range. Simmons and Smith returned and passed out the rifles they'd obtained. Soon after, we were all sending condensed electrons down range, melting robots as quickly as we could. I noted more than a few misses on my part, though. Not gonna lie, fucking hate this thing, Johnson grumbled. I'm kinda liking it, Hansen replied. It's like one of the target shooters from a fair. You know, the ones that make it ridiculously difficult to hit the target. Nope, don't know anything about that, Johnson said. Must be a local thing. Almost entirely exclusive to Earth, actually, Simmons added excitedly. Nobody knows when fairs started, but their purpose was to allow merchants to gather and demonstrate products to prospective buyers. At some point, the merchants began sponsoring games and rides to attract more customers. Then, some of the fairs evolved into what we now know as conventions. There's some that are held on Mars and Luna, but other than that, fairs have stuck to Earth. You know about the weirdest shit. Less talk, more shoot, I demanded. We can do both, Staff Sergeant. The aim on these things doesn't improve if we hold our breath, Hansen laughed. Then his visor lit up as a laser scored a hit. Shit! My eyes! He dropped down into cover, and Smith rushed to check on him. My HUD showed his shield still up, so I returned my attention to the robots. They were taking a beating from multiple sides. Wouldn't be long before they were nothing but scrap. You all right? Smith asked. What happened? Laser right on the faceplate. Hansen wiggled his helmet to massage his face. Blinded me before the adaptive tint could react. Can't see. Do you have any vision at all? Yeah, but only out of the corner of my eyes. Well, good news. You're not going to need new eyeballs. Congrats, you're our fire team's first casualty. No, he's not, Simmons laughed. I tried to catch the last round of chow in my mouth. Got me right in the gums and broke skin. Might even need to see a dentist about it. Rein it in, I said. Hansen, stay down until you recover from the flash blindness. Everyone else, drop those goddamn bots. The tone in the reply I received made me feel like a kindergarten teacher. Nobody can sulk quite like a Marine can. We were down to the last few dozen bots, though, and our would-be saviors were finally visible. A quick zoom confirmed a MARSOC unit accompanied by, or accompanying, some of the locals. Once the robots were finished, a lieutenant gestured for us to come over. Ramirez, Kim, and I shared a look, and the gunny shrugged. Might as well go say hi, he said.